Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the third grade concept of representing multiplication and division problems. This is standard 3.5b in the great state of Texas. We are using number 32 off the 2019 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, and then unpause it. We will look at our answers together. So we have a simple problem here, and you notice that the representations all down here are strip diagrams. And so sometimes you might have heard of strip diagrams, and you might know them by the name part-part whole. So a part-part whole is one type of strip diagram, and that's what we're looking at here. But there are different types of strip diagrams. So part-part whole is just one type of strip diagram. Let's take a look at our problem. Yolanda made 11 sandwiches for a picnic. She used 2 pieces of bread for each sandwich. Well, what if we did this? What if we just made 11 sandwiches here? 11 doesn't really have a good multiplication fact that gets into it, so I'm just going to draw. Can't make a nice neat array with 11, but I can do 4, 4, and 3. All right, so here are my 11 sandwiches. And it says we use 2 pieces of bread for each. So this each right here is going to give us a clue that we're using multiplication or division, because that's typically what each is pointing us toward, is multiplication or division. And then when we're using 2 pieces of bread for each, it doesn't really quite say it. This is kind of why it's a tricky problem. But we're dealing with equal groups. And when we're dealing with equal groups, or the same number of each in each group, that's also another clue that we're dealing with multiplication and division. But the fact that each piece of bread, which makes sense, normal pieces of bread, or normal sandwiches only have 2 pieces of bread, they're going to have 2 each. So what we can do is we can simply just say, well, that's our sandwich, and I'm just going to cut it in half, so I've got 1, 2. And I can just do that for each of these here. And so let's see what we've got here. And so I've got 4. I'm just going to kind of skip count. My 2 is 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So it looks like I've got 22 pieces of bread. Now, take a look at our answer selections. There is no 22 over there. We're not necessarily needing to find the number of pieces of bread. We are wanting to best represent it. But let's take a look at what we did. How many sandwiches did we have? We have 11 sandwiches. And then how many pieces of bread did we use for each sandwich? We had 11 groups of 2. We multiplied by 2. We skip counted by 2 11 times. That's going to give us our total answer of 22 pieces of bread. So let's take a look at our answer selections, F, G, H, and J. So F has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. F has got 11 groups of 11. Take a look at that. 11 groups of 11, and that equals your unknown. 11 times 11 is 121. That is way too big. The 11 groups works, but you're not going to have 11 groups of 11. That means you have 11 slices of bread for each sandwich. So G, we've got 2 groups of 2. So you see we've got my 2 groups, and inside each group is 2. So that means we have 4, and that's not really going to work. We have more than 4 pieces of bread, so I'm not sure where G is coming from. H. H is actually not even a multiplication problem, because you notice they're not equal groups. Remember, multiplication, they all have to be equal. H doesn't have it, so this is simply an addition problem. This is 2 plus 11 equals blank. Well, we know that's 13. 13's nowhere over here. And all this did is this just took the 11 and 2, and it just applied the wrong operation. We're not adding. But take a look at J. You probably already noticed it. We've got 11 groups, and inside each of these groups, we have 2. So we have 11 groups of 2, and that is going to best represent our 22 slices of bread. So our answer is going to be J. That is the correct strip diagram.